Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Garrett the Cage, and welcome to the top 10 games of 2018. Now, all these games are titles that I personally
That's what you
finished,
get.
and most of them have actually been shown on the channel. This is a personal list. These are games that I finished. So, unfortunately, things like Red Dead Redemption will not be on here because I just recently started it. And I don't feel it's fair for me to rate something when I've just stuck my toe into it. So, on that note, let's get the list running. Number 10, State of Decay 2. While State of Decay 2 isn't the best game out there, I personally enjoyed it a lot. The maps were solid. The constant looming threat of death around every corner is there, much like the first State of Decay. I loved the scavenging aspect of it, and I loved how detailed the building aspects have added on from the previous game. I wish that there were some bugs that were fixed, and I wish that there were some features in here that were in the first one, as with, let me make my own bases of however many population I can. It's up to me, not you, to decide that game. Either way, this game was a solid price at the $30 mark, and I feel like it is a game that everyone should try out at least a little bit, especially with Game Pass out there. It's a solid survival game that takes that to heart. It's not the most graphically beautiful game out there, but again, I feel like it set itself at the right position to at least make my top 10 list. Number 9, Far Cry 5. Now, surprisingly, this game would have probably been higher up on my list if it wasn't for a few things. First of all, let's talk about the good. Beautiful game. Solid gunplay. Beautiful landscapes. Gorgeous landscapes. I loved Montana so much. Mission-wise, missions were solid. A lot of them were just regular, good old-fashioned Far Cry missions. Go here, shoot these people. Go here, grab this person. Go here, do this. And honestly, that's just how Far Cry has been for several iterations now. Where this game fell off with me personally was the storyline was good to a point. And I think I'm actually going to talk about this on a separate video, but it's drug problem. Originally, when the game announced itself, it announced itself like we are going against a crazy cult. When in all reality, most of the cult members weren't following him because of his leadership. It was because of drugs. The ending was lackluster, unsatisfying, and overall, just I didn't care about it. And the characters, while they were fun to interact with, just had a weird pacing a lot of times, and they just were okay at the end of the game. Either way, it's a solid game. If you liked other Far Cries, give it a shot. Number 7, Let's Go Eevee. I fell in love with Let's Go Eevee. And you could say Pikachu, but you're a monster if you bought Let's Go Pikachu. Let's be honest there. Either way, the Let's Go games were fan-freaking-tastic. The twist of having an old game brought up and done in a different manner from Red and Blue back on the Game Boy to what it is today blew me out of the water of so much enjoyment. The funny thing is, this game, playing through it, reminded me of my childhood playing through the game. This is how I pictured the game. Running around, running into Pokemon every direction I turned in the tall grass. Graphically beautiful, super fun to play. Incorporating the Let's Go aspect of Pokemon Go with the motion controls is a little meh here and there. For the most part, it worked. But overall, if you're a Pokemon fan, new or old, I have to give it credit. It did such a great job encapsulating the battle system, the catching system, the adventure of Pokemon. I'm excited to see where this series goes in the future. It's won my vote. It's super fun. Whether you're using in handheld mode, TV mode, Joy-Con, or Pokeball, enjoy this game because it deserves your attention. Number 7, Pinstripe. Honestly, I didn't even know what this game was, and I just picked it up one day and just kind of looked interesting, and it sounded interesting. I didn't even look at any trailers for it, but graphically, this game is gorgeous. Oh, it was just so much fun to play. The voice acting, spot on, amazing. Thumbs up on that part. The puzzle aspect was a lot of great puzzles. And the underlying story to everything was heart pounding great. If you've never played this game, it's out on PC, Xbox, PS4, Switch. And actually, the developer of that is making a new game, which I backed through Kickstarter, called Once Upon a Coma. Do yourself a favor, play this game because it is worth it. If you got a few hours on your hands and you don't know what to play, pick up Pinstripe and enjoy it because it is a treat. Number 6, Detroit Become Human. Now we can sit here and debate back and forth if this is a quote unquote game or not. The thing is, to me, it is just a different flavor of game. The story was awesome here. The graphics were beautiful. The dialogue was great. The voice actors and actresses were spot on awesome. The replay value this game has is significant. There's so many options of choices, some minor, some major. And depending on how you play, depends on your ending. And I just fell in love with this game. As soon as I seen it, I was on board. And to be honest, I did not care for any of the other games previous to this. Beyond Two Souls, I played 30 seconds of it and I put it down. Heavy Rain, I didn't even get an hour into the game and I went, not interested. This game held me so well. Thumbs up. It's such a unique, fun game to play. And you're going to have people say that, oh, it's not a game. You're just walking around and clicking buttons. If that's the truth, then it's still a fun thing, whatever it happens to be. And if that's you just going out and watching somebody play it, I recommend it. Number 5, The Missing, J.J. Macfield and the Island of Memories. To be frank with you, this title is the most amazing thing I have ever. It deserves to be in its whole separate category because it is so fantastic. Graphically, this game is gorgeous. I played it on the Nintendo Switch, but it released day one on all consoles. Thumbs up for that. It's made by Swery, which has done some amazing projects. Thumbs up. This game is unlike anything else. It's a little graphic. You solve puzzles by decapitating yourself. However, there's a reason behind it. It's not just for the sake of being gory or gross. The story of this, it tugs at your heartstrings. It makes you feel unlike anything. I cried during this game, and it deserved those tears. It deserves your attention. I wish this game was physical so I could have a physical copy up on my wall because this is one of the most. This game, it has affected me on so many levels. Anytime I can talk about it, I tell people, you need to check this game out. It has great puzzle system, an amazing story, great voice acting throughout the whole title, and a game that it's a game that nobody else would ever do or touch besides Swery. Amazing, amazing thing that he has done. Thumbs up. Pick this up on whatever console you can, rather than Xbox, PC, Switch, PS4, and grab yourself a box of tissues because you're going to need it. Number 4, Hitman 2. I was a big fan of Hitman 2016. What IO had done was fantastic. I loved missions spanning out across the globe. And they brought their A game here with Hitman 2. This is a niche game, and it's not for everybody, but I think if you gave it a try, you might really enjoy it. The targets are awesome. The dialogue is great. The voice acting is bullseye great. Graphically, beautiful game. The sprawling maps and all the NPCs, thumbs up. And actually, the story is really, really stinking good. The amount of different ways to complete a mission is almost limited by you. So many different ways to do how these missions are laid out is awesome. On top of this, the amount of value for replayability, ghost mode for online competitiveness, to the elusive targets, to the escalation missions, to going through trying to get the best score possible, to unlock more weapons, to go back and do it again. On top of that, the if you played in 2016, you got the full game of 2016 Hitman included with for a free download is awesome. That shows value. IO Interactive did a bang up job, and I give them credit when I can because they did something. They got out from underneath Square Enix and ran with their title and showed that they can make an amazing thing when the shackles are gone. IO Interactive, keep up the fantastic work. If you've never played a Hitman, now is the time. Number 3, Marvel's Spider-Man. Now, to be honest, I was not going to pick up this game when it came out. Not because I didn't think it was going to be good, but because I was kind of tired of the jump punch mentality of games, and especially superhero games. After Shadow of War and a couple other games, I was just not interested. But I caved, and I bought it. And it was an amazing journey. Not only was it well written, with a great twist of a story that we know and not a origin story like most games have started off with, but a slightly older Peter Parker. Great storytelling, solid side missions, great ending to everything. Having all the cameos in the game of all these other villains was spot on awesome. Having Mr. Negative in there, a character that I never really knew about. So even having Tombstone being a part of a biker gang was awesome. Now, my only one criticism for the game is I wish there was a little bit more spread out boss fights. I felt like near the end it was boss fight after boss fight, and I wish it was spread out just a hair more. Either way, they did a great job. This game is amazing, and Insomniac Games deserves your attention if you haven't checked it out yet. Number 2, Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. Now, if you've been around the channel, I'm a pretty big Yakuza fan after Zero. And I went out and pre-ordered the collector's edition of Yakuza 6 as soon as I could. And I have to admit, the game started off a little slow for me. A slightly older Kiryu was nice. I loved the story and the atmosphere and how the city itself felt so alive on such a small map is so unique. And it shows that you don't have to have a huge sprawling city to get your point across. Following Kiryu through his story of finding himself and finding what family really means was great. The combat in this game is awesome. The story is unlike most other games, especially a title that's called the Yakuza. You have these moments of mature, tense, and even heartbreaking situations to turn around and have these side missions of fun and excitement and just having a good time, going to the darts, playing arcades, going out and finding different places to eat. All of this was so unique in Yakuza that it deserves attention. It's done them so well with Zero. Not only did the 6 come to the West, but they've already remastered Yakuza and Yakuza 2. And on that note, we already know that they're working on the rest of the series to bring up to the current gen's consoles. Either way, do yourself a favor and pick up Yakuza however you can. Trust me on this one. And number 1, God of War. This is another title that snuck up on me. Every time I kept thinking about what game did I want to be number 1, this game always kept saying, but God of War. Now, to this point in my life, I had never played a God of War game, minus maybe 30 minutes of Ascension, which God of War fans are like, yeah, that's not the good one to play. Either way, this was another title that I was not planning on picking up because I'm like, I never played a God of War. I don't really care. And a used copy showed up at my local store that next morning of release day. So I drove up there and picked it up. And to be honest, this game deserves every bit of credit it gets through the gameplay, the combat, the map system, the upgrades, the enemies, the story, the voice acting. All of these things are melded together to make this gorgeous title that needs to be enjoyed. This story was so much fun to play through and to experience. I I can't even begin to describe the emotions I got out of this game. It made me enjoy the game so much more than anything else in 2018. And thumbs up to the team to reboot and sequel the game in such a unique way that they can now open the door to so many other realms. They can do whatever they want now. And I will support them for the most part because this game, if they can follow anything like this game, they got my money. On top of that, they just released New Game Plus. So even better yet. Obviously, if you own a PlayStation, you've probably have played this game. If not, I don't know why. I regret not picking it up day one, though I got it day two. But it's a title that it's probably one of my strongest titles in my brain from the past couple years. And they did such a bang up job on it. And thumbs up because they won Game of the Year. And I hope to see many great things from them in the future. So that was my top 10 games of 2018. Now, that doesn't mean that there were lesser games because these are just 10 games that I enjoyed so much in 2018. I wish I could name them all. There were so many titles that I played through and truly enjoyed. And 2019 is already starting to look like an amazing year. After 2017, I didn't think we were going to have another great year. Boy, did I eat a shoe on that one. Either way, in the comment section down below, tell me what your top 10 games are for 2018 or just some games that you enjoyed. And let's have a little conversation about them because I played many games that I didn't get to talk about. So, on that note, till next time, you guys, stay frosty.